This video will cover the use of the master list. The master list is your schedule for the day and is where your front desk and technologists will start their daily task from. The master list will default to today, where the patients will be listed chronologically. If needed, you can look at the schedule for yesterday or tomorrow by clicking on the left and right arrows. Or you can use the calendar icon to select a specific date. For the remainder of this video, I will go back to today's schedule. The master list has several columns, all with useful information. The layout of these columns is customizable to ensure the information you want to see is easily accessible. If you right-click in the results window and go to the column settings, you can easily change the order of the columns. Anything with the checkbox selected in the lock column is going to be on the left-hand side of the double gray bar. This means it is not on the scrollable side of the window and is therefore locked. For example, if you want the patient's account number to always be visible, you can lock it. This way, even when you scroll to the right, the patient's account number is still available. You can also change the order of the columns using the up and down arrows. For instance, if you want the date of birth column to be before the patient's name, using the up button, you can move the date of birth column before the patient name column. Once you have your columns positioned the way you like, click OK. Your screen will reshuffle to match the layout you selected. There are different ways of filtering the master list. The first way is using the 4 radio buttons: Unfinished Appointments, Unbilled Appointments, Active Appointments, and All Appointments. If you have Unfinished Appointments selected, you are going to see the patients that are scheduled for today and that are in the process of being completed. Once the techs have finished their appointments, they will fall off the list. If you select Active Appointments, you are going to see the scheduled appointments, the appointments that are in process, as well as the ones that are completed. But you will not see the patients whose appointments have been canceled or flagged in MedInformatix. If you truly want to see everything that was on the schedule for today, you would need to select All Appointments. This is going to show you all the appointments that are scheduled, in process, completed, and canceled. The last radio button is Unbilled Appointments. As indicated, this is going to show you the appointments that have not yet been billed. For this portion of the video, we will keep the filter set to Unfinished Appointments. Then you have 4 drop-down options. The first drop-down is AM and PM. If you only want to see the schedule for the morning or the afternoon, you could filter your list using this drop-down. The next drop-down is Facility. If you have multiple facilities and only want to see the schedule for the one you are located in, you could filter that here. The check-in drop-down allows you to filter your schedule by modality. So if you want to see the CT schedule across all facilities, you could filter it using the check-in drop-down. Lastly, if you are using our Waystar eligibility process, you would be able to filter by batch eligibility response. Now imagine you are working the front desk and April Ludgate arrives for her left screening digital mammogram. The first thing you need to do is locate the correct appointment. You could use any of the filters listed above to assist you with this. Your next step would be to tag the patient as arrived, and you would do that by using the tag button in the toolbar, by first hitting tag and then tag as arrived. If you click off of this patient, you can see that she has been highlighted in green. This indicates to everyone that the patient is here, but they are not yet ready for their exam. They're still completing their paperwork and signing all of their agreements up by the front desk. At this time, if you are working the front desk, you could either double-click the patient or click the yellow file folder to go into this patient's account, where you will then be defaulted into the front desk or check-in tree. From there, you would utilize the branches as necessary to add in the patient's insurance, make sure that they have an order, fill out any HIPAA or consent forms, scan in any documentation, and collect any payment as necessary. Once all of these steps at the front desk are completed, the last thing you would do would be to actually tag the patient again, but this time you would select Ready for Service. This is going to remove the green highlight and change the text to red, as well as update the tag time column with the current time. This is an indication that the patient is now ready for the text. For a tech to start an exam in MedInformatix, the first step would be to assign the patient to a room. This is important to accurately report how long the patient is in each step of the process. To do that, you would click the Assign Room button, where you would then pick your unit and your room. For our example, we will select Mammo 1. This is now going to update the room time column and change the font for that patient to blue. This lets everyone know that you now have the patient back in the room and are performing their exam. From there, the text would either double-click on the patient's name or click on the yellow file folder to go into the patient's chart, where they would be defaulted into the technologist tree. They would then view their orders and document any tech notes. In MedInformatix, you do have the ability to send tech notes and HL7 messages if there is ever a need to populate data in PACS, PowerScribe, or any other dictation software. Once the techs have done all their documentation, and they've completed their images on PACS, they can then finalize the appointment in MedInformatix. This is what then sends the exam to be read by the radiologist. You then hit Finalize Exam and verify that the original appointment that was scheduled, left screening digital mammogram, is in fact the exam that was performed. If it is not, you could choose the correct appointment type from the Actual Appointment Performed dropdown. If it was the correct exam, you would then click Appointment Done. Now, if you exit out of the patient's chart, you will see that the patient has fallen off the list because you have unfinished appointments selected. If you were to change this to active appointments, you would see that the completed appointment appears in green text and the exit time column has been updated. This is also where you can notate if a patient was a no-show or you need to cancel their exam. For example, if Tammy Swanson was ill and not able to come in for her thyroid ultrasound, we would cancel the appointment here. To cancel appointment in MedInformatix, you need to flag it, so you would click the flag button. From here, you have different types of flags, and these are used for reporting purposes. If the patient was calling to cancel or reschedule, you would select the appropriate flag. Here, we will pick Cancel by Patient on time. You then want to make sure you pick an explanation for flagging as well. In this case, since Tammy Swanson was ill, we will select Patient Ill. Also note, this list is customizable, where you could add reasons that are not currently listed, or specific to your site. Once you've selected your flag reason and clicked OK, the appointment falls off the schedule. If you were to click on the All Appointments Radio button, you will see that the text is now red, and in the flag column there will be a C for cancelled. When you are in the flag screen, you will see next to the description what all of the letters stand for. Lastly, from the master list, you may also need to schedule walk-in appointments. To do so, you would use the walk-in button. This walk-in button is going to prompt you through all the screens necessary to get the walk-in patient scheduled. First, you would want to find your patient. We'll use Aria Stark as an example. In this case, let us say she's having a walk-in ultrasound. Once you've selected your reason, you will get the same confirm appointment screen that you saw when scheduling, either through the Books view or through the search wizard, where you can then put in your appointment notes, change your patient's coverage type, and enter the referring doctor. As necessary, you could then fill out the screening questionnaire, read the patient their prep information, and then complete any front desk check-in tree branches as needed. Because the patient was scheduled using the walk-in button, she has already been tagged as arrived in the system. You will see that Aria Stark is highlighted in green. Also, because you used the walk-in button, the system already knows that the patient has arrived and will be ready for their appointment once the front desk has completed all of their forms and paperwork. and all that will need to be done is for the patient to be tagged as ready for service. Thank you for taking the time to watch this training video. If you have any questions pertaining to the material covered within this video, be sure to reach out to our support staff at support@MedInformatix.com or by phone at area code 614-457-4359.